Danny put together a solid game plan 2 weeks in a row. So this is a big.
But overall, I can't complain too much. We just need to beat the Bills.
Performed at an exceptional level against very good teams.
This was our third win in a row. Very happy. I'm just concerned about.
All right, everyone, welcome to Mile High Minute. I'm here with the guys that I spend most Sundays with watching the games, and we're here for episode 4. So, we beat the Jets 10-9. Let's talk about it. Just some quick thoughts. Quick thought off the game. We'll do our normal, but just some quick thoughts. What do you think, Gavin?
First, I got to say, I think Todd's assessment in the intro is very stale now, calling for Vance Joseph to be fired.
No, that's not what I said. I said the ugly is people calling for Vance Joseph to be fired.
Oh, okay.
I
Sorry.
stood right by
In fact,
Vance
he is
Joseph.
prescient.
I stood right by Vance Joseph.
All right. It was hard to hear over the music. Okay,
Yeah.
you're good. You're good. You're off. We had no business winning this game, but neither did the Jets. So it was painful to watch. It was really painful. But damn, it was just one of those gritty wins where you come out. The defense pulled us out. Their defense is great. Our defense is great. And it was kind of a defensive grudge match. I think the weather played a lot more into it than it kind of led on to believe. Both quarterbacks struggled. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, this is the first time in Aaron Rodgers' entire career that he scored 0 points at a home game. Never happened before in his entire career. Bo Nix had -7 yards in the first half. Like, how did both these quarterbacks do anything today? And we really wanted in the running game. We opened up in the second half. Javonte finally awakened. I think he got 80 yards, which is like his best game of the season. And it seems like maybe it's a little bit back. The injury to Batty's really terrible, but the fact that Javonte stepped up gives me hope there. And we're starting to click. The blocks are starting to come. We're starting to put it together. And, even with Peyton Manning, it took 4 games for even Peyton Manning's offense to start working together. So this is a brand new offense, brand new quarterback. So I'm hopelessly optimistic. If we can win out gritty games like this, we're in for, an interesting season. Dare I say, sniff the playoffs. If we can even get a wild card this season, I would be super happy. So I think we're kind of on pace to where I thought we'd probably be at. What about you guys?
Todd?
I'm going to make it short because top line thoughts. So Nathaniel Hackett and Aaron Rodgers are a pretty big deal about the overall ethos of the Broncos over the last 4 years. It felt very good to beat Nathaniel Hackett and Aaron Rodgers in New Jersey.
Sure did.
Yep.
Any game in those conditions, you would expect we would have lost any time in the last decade, I feel like. At least back since 2015. And we didn't lose. And I think the difference between a good team and a bad team is the good teams win the hard games like that. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I agree. I think the rain in the first half was a bit of a problem, but I'm not going to lie. They're not stacking Aaron Rodgers on the first drive was quite sweet. I kept trying to find video of it. That was one of the videos I was going to show, but I could not find a good enough video for it. All right. Well, we're going to go into our normal that we do, the good, bad, and the ugly. So, all right. Let's start with the good. Steve, you go.
Can I cuss on here?
Yeah.
Vance
Keep it under.
fucking Joseph. I mean,
Amen.
you know what? I think the Broncos, if many years ago we had just hired Vance Joseph as our head coach, we'd be in so much better. Well, all right, whatever. But no, called an amazing game. He's got this team firing on all cylinders. We lost, a key player in Alex Singleton. he recovered. And I think I gather he called things a little differently because of that, but it all clicked. And, you can't ask for anything more than that. So well done.
Yep. Kevin.
There was a lot of good defensively this game. That's about all that there was. I think one of the things that sticks out to me, having Sternad there, losing Singleton, I was majorly worried, but Sternad stepped in big time, and that was a big surprise. And you know who was kind of a quiet background guy, but who was just kicking ass, and I guess it's good if you don't hear their name, but Brandon Jones, man, he's our safety. He's been filling in for Justin Simmons. Everybody was worried about Justin Simmons the same way. He is completely kicking ass. PFF has graded him as the number 10 defender in the entire league. Mm-hmm. And people like TJ Watt and Myles Garrett and, company like that, he's number 10 right now. And we don't hear his name often, but he is back there just shutting down, the deep ball and just having a hell of a time enjoying himself shutting down quarterbacks. So that's been really good for me. There's a lot of other things. Riley Moss, holy crap, playing out of his mind. So the whole secondary, I think, for me right now is clicking really well, which is odd. I didn't expect that right now.
Todd?
Can I curse on here?
If you guys would only know the curse on the round table, you would not be asking those questions. I am holding my mouth on the show.
No, Vance fucking Joseph, and actually it's a little bit larger than that. The good is the culture, the enduring culture of the Denver Broncos as we celebrate the 77 team. But go back in history and try to figure out a head coach that was fired and came back to the team that he was fired with at a coordinator role, and it fits so well, and it worked so well. I got
one.
What's that?
Wade Phillips.
Yep.
Wade Phillips, right? Well, and you're reinforcing my point, which is there is a culture about the Denver Broncos and who we are. That Vance Joseph would even consider coming back, or Wade Phillips would even consider coming back to be a defensive coordinator when they were fired as a head coach, with, quite frankly, both very unsuccessful regimes. But how great is it? It's such a testament to the excellence of the Denver Broncos culture, which is something we need right now because it's taken a lot of hits over the last 7 years. But I really, really, really appreciate that Vance came back, and I appreciate that he got through that 70-point game and did not give up. He believed in himself, and, kudos to Sean for keeping him on after that. But that, to me, watching this defense, not only this week, but this season so far, it's something to be excited about. It's something to root for. They're really, really good. I think they're a little underrated nationally, but this Denver Broncos defense, it reminds me of the greatest ones.
I agree. I mean, my good, you guys have kind of already hit on it. So my good was going to be the secondary. Our safeties and cornerbacks are playing out of their minds. Riley Moss, I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, he's going to have problems once in a while. Yeah, they're going to burn him. But that's because they're not throwing to the number one cornerback on the other side. So they're working in tandem. He'll get better the more he goes. But you kind of hit on it too, Gavin, and a little bit with what you were talking about. The good was that Javonte finally became the bowling ball that I know and love in this game. He was bouncing off people and breaking tackles. So off of a pretty stout defense. But one of the things we talked about last week is we had to take advantage of the rookie that was going to be the right tackle. And it looks like we did take a bit of advantage on that one. So, all right, we will go to the bad. And what do you guys have to say about the bad? So, Todd, why don't you start?
I'll start. and I'm talking specifically about this week, and I think it's very important, even though we've touched on it a bit before. The bad was the weather. Like, there's not really, you can't make any conclusions about the game last week because the weather was completely disruptive. So yeah, it is funny that that Bo threw for negative yardage in the first half, and that Aaron did not score any points, but. This is an outlier. There's nothing to be learned from this game other than the Broncos had a victory. I think that's good news because I think that whatever kind of momentum we had from the Tampa Bay game is still going. I just think the game was a mess. It's fun to watch. It actually was watchable. And I'll just say one more thing about the Broncos of 2024 is they've never been out of a game, and they've been eminently watchable this year. So the game was watchable, but it didn't mean anything. It was just too sloppy.
Steve?
I'm going to go with injuries. They have been piling up. Obviously, the injury to Bidet. Did I get it right?
Bidet.
I'll get it right. Yep. So that was concerning. He hasn't moved to injured reserve yet, so that's good. Hopefully he can come back in the near term. But Singleton injured reserve, Browning injured reserve, Glenshee injured reserve. Like, it's starting to add up, right? We're only a few games into the season, so it's a little concerning that this team has held up in the face of that is great, but at some point it's hard to compensate.
Your turn, Gavin.
Yeah. The bad and the ugly are so close sometimes.
Ain't that the truth?
I want to say the field goal at the end was bad, but that was probably the ugliest thing. I'm going to go and say this was Bo's worst game. Like, he looked a little shaky. He was completely opposite of what he looked like in Tampa. Now, you say the weather, but this guy played in Oregon, right? Like, the most games ever, and started in Oregon for 3 years of that. So it's hard for me to believe that the weather was that big of a factor, but it was affecting both Rodgers too. So I'll give him a little bit of a pass on that, but too many checkdowns, too many. He got it together in the second half, but that first half was just terrible to watch. Like, it was bad. And I think he turned it around, had 60 yards total. I heard something today that this is a quarterback has not thrown for fewer yards and still won the game than John Elway did it back in his rookie season in 1983. So 41 years it's been since.
For Broncos or NFL?
I think NFL, which is weird that it's also Broncos, but don't quote me on that.
And it was also Elway. I feel like is a good sign.
Yeah, right.
Oh, so hold it. Did Bo Nix tie an Elway record? That sounds
Yeah, right. In that respect, and chalk it up again. I mean, good for him. He idolized Aaron Rodgers growing up, being a quarterback. So to face Aaron Rodgers and to beat him, he was giddy on the sidelines. You could tell. But you cannot. I'm a little bit worried. We're going to see over the next few. But Bo will have games like this. He is a rookie. But my antennas are up right now because that was a terrible, terrible QB performance.
My bad kind of goes with what Gavin just said, which my bad was going to be the game plan for the first half of the game. I know they were doing it because it was raining and they didn't want to have like people falling and interceptions, et cetera, but they regressed in this game. And it took till the second half for them to pull it out. There were a few things that when I watched Tim Jenkins break down Bo Nix playing, there was a couple of things in there that I saw that he pointed out that were interesting, that you can actually see Bo thinking during the game. But yeah, the first half was bad. The second half, a lot better.
Much
He got his touchdown. We started breaking it open, and the defense just ground it out. All right, so now we're going to go to the ugly. And I know I usually do you guys first, but I'm going to do mine, which is, and I kind of posted this on CBN when somebody mentioned getting Devontae Adams. And my response is, why don't we get a tight end that can block? Because that is the thing I noticed watching Tim Jenkins breakdown, is our tight ends can't bleep and block.
You can cuss on here. I think we covered that.
They're not pushing them in the right position. They're literally like, oh, okay, and I'm going here. We need blocking tight ends to help out what's going on with the line, which I do think is a lot better. They're keeping that pocket open longer than they were. But to me, that's it. The ugly is the tight ends. If Dulcich can only push his hair around and not block somebody, we need somebody else. We got to do something about that position. All right, I'm done with my tirade. And see, you can cuss on this game on the show. Next, whoever wants to go.
I'm going to go with the doubters. The doubters are ugly. Because look, Bo Nix looked pretty good in the Tampa game. Didn't get his his passing touchdown yet. He did get it in this game. And let's go to the stat line, shall we? The Hall of Fame bound Aaron Rodgers, the best, such a good quarterback, had a worse QB rating than Bo Nix. It was rainy. It was two very good defenses playing in conditions that suited them. I'm going to call it an outlier, and I believe that Bo Nix will be having his real, true coming out against the Raiders this Sunday.
Let's hope.
Todd?
So, January 2020. You guys remember January 2020? The Raiders.
It was still a good year. It was still a good year at that point.
I remember this.
Yeah, this is here we go. You want to talk the ugly? We're getting very, very ugly. In January of 2020, the Oakland Raiders played their last game in Oakland Alameda County Coliseum or whatever it's called, and the Denver Broncos won. I believe that I'm not sure you were there, Gavin, but Stephen T and I were in the Irish Oak, and it was a beautiful day, right? That is the last time that we.
Was that the Shelby Harris where he blocked?
Yes.
He blocked it at
correct.
the
correct.
Yeah, at the
We
goal
blocked
line.
the field goal.
Yeah.
We won 2019. That's the last time we've beaten the Raiders. We've lost them 8 straight since then. That's ugly. Sunday, we are celebrating the 1977 Broncos team, which owns my heart. That's when I became a Bronco fan. We beat them because we beat the Raiders on Christmas Eve in 1977. So we need to end this ugliness. Like, it is very, 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 very important that the Denver Broncos beat the whatever they are Raiders, the fake Raiders, the pathetic Raiders. I'm not going to mention the city, but from here on out, for me, they're the pathetic Raiders. We need to beat the pathetic Raiders. Devontae Adams doesn't even want to be there anymore.
Yeah.
So the ugliness is this 8-game losing streak, and it's got to end Sunday.
Agreed. Sean Payton beat the Kansas City Chiefs and broke that streak last year. This time, top priority is breaking that Raiders streak. I agree.
Agreed.
I think the ugly for me, and this will be a little bit quick, is Sean Payton's challenge calls. What is going on? We so bad. It's terrible. And this one damn nearly cost us the game. So is he the one making them? Don't we have booth guys for this? Like, what the F is going on?
He made one that he was literally 5 feet from where it happened, and the booth told him to call it.
Yeah.
And he did.
I
Like
don't
that's
know.
one that he should have been like, guys, yeah, that's your job, but no.
Yeah, and maybe he was saying, "Hey, I don't think it is," and he looked up at the teleprompter and said, "Yeah, I think it is," and maybe threw it. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
Who knows? We
speculation.
don't know.
But we really could have used it on that last one because that would have shut down the game basically, or at least gotten us the ball back.
Yeah.
We punt and then we go up by 3 points or kick a field goal, go up by 4 points. Then we'd kick off and then touch back, and then they have to climb the entire field the rest of the game to win the game with a touchdown, and that wasn't happening against that defense. So that was damn big. Will Lutz, both kickers missed field goals in the rain, so it's hard to judge that. Will has been awesome this year, I got to say, no qualms with Lutz, but that last challenge, I just hope we get better with that because so far it has been UGLY.
Yep, agreed. All right, well, you guys mentioned it. We are going to be playing the Raiders on Sunday. So I looked at the schedule. We have the Raiders, we have the Chargers, then we have the Saints, and then the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
So the next 3 out of 4, I think, are definitely winnable, especially with the injuries that's happened to the Raiders, with Devontae not being happy, Max Crosby's out. Looking forward to the Chargers. The Chargers are having personnel problems too. They've got a lot of injuries. We'll see what happens with Justin Herbert if he plays this weekend. But any predictions for the games, guys? You want to go out on a limb and make something crazy, or what do you think about the game that you haven't already said?
The next 4?
For the next game, for the Raiders game.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Todd, go for it. You were going to.
I will just say, so Gavin, you've missed the last couple of weeks. I think Sean Payton needs to prove it. I think Sean Payton needs to prove it. He needs to go 3-1. I don't care who wins and who loses, but the defense is sensational. The offense is getting better. If we're 500 5 weeks from now, then Sean Payton is in danger. If, on the other hand, we are 5-3, then Sean Payton has proven his point.
That New Orleans game, you think by all measure that he should win that game. But that's the one that kind of scares me out of those 3, honestly. I think it could be a big gotcha game for us. He might be overthinking himself. And the Saints are looking pretty decent right now. So
they got a good defense. Yeah,
I don't know, how well we match up with them right now. Carolina, all the Chargers, and even the Raiders, even though we've lost the day in 8 years, all the injuries, everything, they don't scare me. So
it's only 4 years. It just feels like 8.
Yeah, correct. Right, 8 games. Yeah, the Chiefs was 8 years. So, decade of dominance. That's our job.
That's what we're used to.
Yeah. So, predictions for the Raiders game. I think we're going to win by 2 scores.
All right.
Yeah.
Steve?
I'm going to go. Well, I already predicted the win, but I'm going to go 27-9 Broncos. I think it's going to be a strong win. I think the Raiders are a struggling organization right now, and we're going to take advantage. And I predict to you that we will be going 6-2. That we are going to beat the Raiders, the Chargers, the Saints, and the Panthers. With one asterisk that if the Saints trade for Devontae Adams in the meantime, I will possibly retract this prediction. But
unless we trade for Javonte, like some people want.
We will not be doing that.
The Raiders are not trading.
Would be insane.
I'm not going to do that. Somebody said, I'm worried the Chiefs will
remember what family we're talking about, right?
Well, that is true.
All right. Okay. Well, that's pretty much the show. And I forget
what's your prediction?
Oh,
you didn't make one.
Me?
Yeah.
My prediction is that I think the throwback to the 1977 Orange Crush, all of that, I think that,
They look so good.
yeah, it does.
They're gonna look really sweet.
Marvin Mims will run one back for a touchdown.
Oh,
He's
God.
due to break.
Wow.
I think he's due to break one out, just the way the rules work and everything. But
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. I mean, I think the offense is going to be better. I'll do it this way. Crazy. We'll have at least 100 yards rushing and 100 yards passing in this game. I mean, we are playing in, well, maybe double that, because we're playing in Mile High. Yeah. Okay. I was thinking I think we'll double our offense, which I admit is not much right now, but I think we can finally start breaking open the tackles and getting our run game going and all of that. I hope we need to, or Bo Nix is going to be taking more sacks than he really needs to be taking this year.
Speaking of tackles, how about Pacheski, man? He's been stepping up. Like,
Yes.
I'm not sad McGlinchey's gone. I like what this kid's made of. Like, it's working right now. So,
well, that's what I said last week, was if he keeps playing the way he's playing and this line stays the way that it is and it's good while McGlinchey's out,
yeah,
there's a battle for that position now.
hot hand.
Yeah.
Hot hand.
Like, and do you take the hot kid out to put in your guy you're paying millions to? So, all right. That's our show, and we referred to it earlier. So as our segue going out, I am going to play an ad that the Denver Broncos have released, and it stars the cornerback that most people that are on the show here and also on my other show know that I love. I do love myself some Pat Surtain. He meets up with one of our old timers, and you guys who wants to say who that guy is?
No, don't ruin it. Spoilers. Spoilers. I mean, they released this video, at the
It was a long time ago, but they put it out again this week because of the throwback helmets and the throwback jerseys that they're doing. Yeah. So I am going to start with that, and
I can't wait.
That'll lead us in. We'll talk about it next week. See what we predicted right, and if we have anything else to talk about. All right, guys. So here we go.
I need to turn the audio up a little, Tina. I think the noise suppression is killing it.
Yep.
Sir, can I help you out? I don't know. I'm kind of rocking with this. Maybe something to go with it? What you think? Yeah. Well, I think I have something for you.
Oh, yeah.
We've been waiting.
Here we go.
So sick.
Giving us some football game in Denver tonight. The most enthusiastic fans in the NFL at Mile High Stadium. Going long in the end zone. Now and there.
All right. Yep. So we all better be wearing throwback on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys. as always, it's a treat talking to you guys, and looking forward to Sunday.
Beat the Raiders. Oh, one more thing, Tina.
Yeah.
For those in Chicago, we got the big room at Almost Home, 325. Show up, wear your throwback jersey. Let's beat the Raiders.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We've actually showed the bar the last 2 weeks. We've had a very good turnout for both games, and we've been a lot louder than the Bears games. So we'll be back in the front room. So
we have people driving down from Milwaukee for the game. So yeah, come on out. It's going to be a fun one.
All right, guys.
All right.
See you on Sunday.
See ya.
Bye.